Be sure to check out my Patreon for weekly exclusive interviews, extra content on Veve and Omi, and building generational wealth, as well as money management tips from experienced whales. Yo, what is going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we're back with another Veve and Ecomi video. Now, what's interesting about this one is we're going to be talking about the lightsabers and some of the use cases that I foresee in the future for some of these things. Now, when it comes down to the gameplay and the utility that I think is going to be attached to them, what's interesting is people have actually already been figuring out that if you actually go to the lightsabers and you move them around, the sounds change as if it can tell that you're moving it around. And yeah, like, and people are speculating that the only reason that they would do that is if you're going to be able to hold the saber, move it around, and more than likely, like, even if you connect the sabers with another one, you'll hear the crash sound like when you're actually in a fight in Star Wars. So that's going to be sick if it's really that detailed, if they've really added those type of details. But obviously that's not something that they're ready to release, announce, or even speak about right now. Like, what's happening is they're trying to manage the expectations of the community, because while I can speculate about the future all the time, it's very hard for everyone to be able to think about the future, invest because of what you see coming in the future, but also stay grounded in reality and what's going on right now, because it's two different types of mindsets. I have my predictions the way that I have them for the future because I understand where we're going. I also understand where we're at right now and why most people would not be able to see the same vision that I see, because you have to be able to separate your emotions and separate the future logic from the today logic, and understand how the today logic has to actually move in order to ever get to the future logic. So it's a lot. It definitely is a lot that you have to research and understand and really break down and study, and a lot of people just don't have the time to even put in that type of effort. A lot of people think that they know it all, and I think that that's one of my biggest strengths as well. Like, I just don't think that I know enough. I always can learn. I always can be better. It's just like, as much as I learn, no one is ever able to actually combat the conclusions that I've come to, ever. So, I mean, that's why I believe in myself more so than, you know, anything that I've heard out there so far. So, yeah, that being said, we do have something really, really interesting, though. We have something that's an actual game, and this was out in 2017. This video was made in 2017, and it's a game with the lightsabers. It's a game with a Star Wars game where it's VR. It's VR. So there's been VR and AR things when it comes down to Star Wars for a while now. This technology is nothing new. This would not be Veve innovating. It'll just be them taking what already exists out there and doing more with it. And we already know that Veve is kings at making deals. So getting the permission to do this stuff and use some of these technologies and things, I don't think this stuff will be as hard as you actually would think. So let's jump into it. Let me show you all how cool this actually is. As you can see, it's like an actual lightsaber for the game. That's sick. But yeah, let's get into it, y'all.
So, this is my attempt to show you what it looks like through the augmented reality headset. Obviously, you can't just film straight through it, so I've combined footage from multiple...
Notice how they actually, they have you, you know, like, they give you indicators where to put your lightsaber to block and things like that. So you can basically, you know, like actually have sword fights, be ready, and you know, you can attack in between putting the lightsaber where it needs to go for you to actually, yeah, do your thing. So I like this. I like the cool aspect. It's simple. You getting straight to it. It's not like a long drawn out tutorial. It's just it's sick. It's sick, and it doesn't look too complicated. They make it fun. They make it really fun. Now, imagine this in a setting with Veve, and I think that's his background. This actually might be the augmented reality one. I think this is the augmented reality one. And it's sick.
Sources here.
Yeah, that's his home. That's his home in the background.
Now, when you're actually looking through it, it's a lot wider than this. This is just how it looks when you're capturing footage.
So I believe what they do is they have these little sensor things. They put it in the middle of the room so the sensor can pick up how big your room is. You got to put it in the center of the room so the sensor knows, and it allows you to, you know, use your headset and stuff and work around the objects that's in your room. And with something like this connected to Veve in some capacity, this would be really, really fun. And this would be really, I'm not going to say simple to do with the lightsabers, but I mean, the hardest part I would think is creating the lightsabers. Creating the code to actually just make a little fighting game where we can challenge our friends and stuff on Veve, challenge them to a lightsaber match if you have certain lightsabers, and then you can choose your lightsaber. You challenge them to a lightsaber match, and you just you know, you bet something, like bet Omi, bet a collectible, bet an NFT. I mean, you don't even have to have the betting in there. You could just do friendly, you know, friendly fights. Or you could have some type of points and score system and leaderboard, and that would keep people on the app, and it would be fun. Something as simple as being able to hold your phone in your hand, and then you move your lightsaber with your phone. Like something that simple, and just you're fighting someone online, like with the online capabilities, you're fighting, you both are doing this. Like it would be sick, man. It would be sick to have that type of technology or that type of feature on Veve where there's a little leaderboard. Like that would keep engagement high. That would actually be a use case and utility for some of this stuff. And that would, I think that when stuff like that starts to happen, that's when we start to see the price of things on Veve start to rise again. Because now there's something to actually do. The thing is, you see how quickly people got bored of the whole picture thing and put bored of the hype around it. That's because all it was freaking pictures. Like the whole value of this technology is the endless utilities. So once utility starts to come, it's over with. Like
directly from it. You will notice that everything looks like the blue holograms from Star Wars, but a bit clearer, which makes perfect sense, frankly. And you will also see, you can see the background. Now, I would strongly recommend while you're playing this, play in as dark a room as possible, because it seems to enhance the 3D effect, and also, frankly, it just looks a lot cooler. In fact, I am going to knock down the background entirely for the rest of this as I show you various gameplay options on offer. First up is what we're all the most excited about, obviously, the Lightsaber Combat. This is where you get to move around a nifty controller and do all that proper Jedi stuff like. This is basically broken into two parts. One where you shoot stormtroopers or battle droids at other minor enemies, mostly by deflecting their shots back at them or carving them up if they're stupid enough to get too close. And then going into the duels where you actually fight against people with their own lightsabers. The very first one is Darth Maul, so you're straight in at the deep end, and basically it involves moving your lightsaber to certain points to block and then striking back when an opportunity presents itself. But with each subsequent opponent it becomes a lot more involved, and by the end of it you're having to watch their arms as to which way they're going to hit you and making sure you can dodge left and right physically in the real world in order to dodge things, and it gets very, very frenetic. This is the best game mode for my money. You would expect it to be, and indeed it is. It's super fun, and with the 3D effect it is very intense indeed. Also there's a nice range of opponents. You've got some people from Star Wars Rebels as well as the obvious ones like Maul and Vader, etc, etc.
That's sick.
Secondly is something called the Trials of Leadership, which is more like a sort of hybrid between a real-time strategy game and tower defense.
See, now something like this would be really, really cool. It's just like a little tower defense game where you put down little pieces and stuff like that and you let them automatically attack, where you're like basically it's like almost like chess. You're being a chess master. You put the pieces in the right place. And yeah, like something like this, this would be sick. I might show you all something like that already currently exists in a different game. It's the Mobile Legends, the game that I play. It might be worth showing you all that, so you all can kind of see the potential of some certain games that we could have coming. But yeah, and it's something that would make a lot of sense for the Mighties, to be honest. Like it's something that would be sick for the Mighties. But yeah, I mean, I don't know their plans for it because obviously they have plans for it. But I hope it's as cool as what I'm thinking about, because it's simple. It's simple, but yeah, anyway.
And where you can put down various towers and things, but also get your troops out and decide where everything goes in order to stop your base getting blown up by the bad guys. This was far better than I was expecting. I didn't think it would be quite this fun, but it's really well balanced, and there's a lot of really nice little touches, like the way you can just chuck Obi-Wan Kenobi out and he really carves everybody up if you save up enough of your force points from killing the enemies. It's also really good fun to sit there on your carpet and have like little men running around, because the graphics, as in all the parts of this actually, are really, really solid. They give a really nice 3D effect, but also, you know, they look like what they're supposed to look like, which when you've got something like Star Wars really makes or breaks it. And finally, it's holo chess, you know, like what they play in the Millennium Falcon in the first film, in it. This really looks the part. Weirdly, I think this is what I was most impressed with visually, I think just because it did so strongly harken back to the first film. The actual game is the weakest of the three, I think, because there's slightly less to it. It's based around the units being more effective against some than others, so you end up with a kind of rock, paper, scissors thing going on. And I mean, as you play it, more stuff does unlock, and You know, it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but it doesn't seem to have the depth and the longevity of the other two play modes. Before you ask, no, you cannot remove the rubber end in order to display the hilt, which is a shame because it is super pretty. But anyway, as you have seen, this is a really nifty bit of kit, and my goodness, it has some fun games to go along with it. It's also very portable. You don't need to plug it into a computer or anything. You can just take the parts along with you and away you go, and the whole thing is completely wireless, so no worries about cables stretching out from the back of your head or anything. Also, the fact that it's run through a mobile app means you can just get the app updated with new content and stuff, hopefully. So that would be very nice. That is something I sincerely hope they do after The Last Jedi is out. Now, something to bear in mind is that it's slightly fiddly to set up the first time. I wouldn't recommend just giving it to the kids. Make sure you have an adult with them with a bit of patience in order to get the whole thing calibrated and running, and then they can be hacking away at Darth Maul to their heart's content. Also, something I noticed with phones is that smaller phones, well, I'll tell you, we basically tried it on a fairly standard Android phone and also on an iPhone 7. Now,
so that's interesting because this is actually using the phone. It connects to the phone in order to do this. It's not like a whole little Oculus or something. It literally it uses your cell phone to do this. So this is something in theory Veve could do. This is something exactly that Veve could do.
Now, the iPhone 7 looked better in the sense that the everything seemed higher res and just kind of looked prettier. But the Android phone, being smaller, seemed to be slightly easier to set up and sort of get in the middle of the cartridge thing that pushes into above the mirrors in the headset. What that basically meant was the larger screen phones, higher visual quality, but the 3D effect seems slightly more prominent from the smaller phones. Your mileage may vary on that. That could be my eyes and stuff like that, but as far as I can tell, you're going to get a good result out of it regardless of your phone. It may just be slightly different to other ones because it's slightly fiddlier to get the bigger phones into the cartridge. And that's it, really. May the Force be with you. I've always wanted to end a video saying that.
All right, y'all. So yeah, there we have it. This was just an interesting video that I saw, and it gives us good insights into some of the things that we can expect, some of the things that's out there, and some of what this can actually be used for on Veve. I'm actually super excited about what they're going to do with it. Obviously, there's going to be something to do with these lightsabers, just like there's going to be something to do with the vehicles. I don't think that they're at the point to work on this stuff right now or to be ready to release this stuff, but I definitely believe some good stuff is coming. So keep in mind, we're just at the beginning stages. We're just so early. We're just really collecting things before they add all that stuff in, because that's the stuff that's going to make our collectibles desirable. Like, because you got to keep in mind, this is a collector's app, but it's not just going to be drawing in collectors. It's going to be drawing in NFT people, crypto people, gamers. It's going to be drawing in fans of Star Wars, and it's going to be drawing in collectors. So it's going to draw, like, you're going to pull from so many different pools of people. But yeah, that being said, man, be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and I will catch you all in the next one, fam. Peace out, y'all.